Imagine a person who struggled to speak as a child, who clashed with authority at school, who was ignored by academia for years, yet whose ideas bent time, curved space, and forever changed the way humanity understands the universe. We think we know Albert Einstein as a genius, but this story is far more than a display of intelligence. This is the story of quiet resistance, stubborn curiosity, and a mind wrestling with moral responsibility. Albert Einstein was born in 1879 in Ulm, Germany. At birth, his head was unusually large. His family worried. Then something even more troubling followed. He barely spoke until the age of 3. Some teachers suspected intellectual disability. But what no one noticed was this. Einstein wasn't silent, he was thinking. At 5 years old, his father gave him a compass. The needle moved, guided by an invisible force. Einstein was mesmerized. The question that would define his life was born in that moment. How do unseen forces shape the world? Einstein was good in class, exceptional in mathematics, but he could not tolerate rigid discipline. He rejected memorization. He questioned everything. He challenged authority. This made him unpopular with his teachers. One of them even told him, "You will never amount to anything." At 15, Einstein left school. He rejected German militarism. To avoid conscription, he left the country. This was not rebellion, it was a need for freedom. He studied at the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology in Zurich. After graduation, expectations were high, but reality was harsh. His refusal to conform, his absence from lectures, and his defiance of authority branded him as problematic. He couldn't find an academic job. Eventually, he became a clerk at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern. And here lies the irony. Ideas that would reshape the universe were born at a desk between stacks of patent applications. Einstein later called this period my worldly cloister, where I conceived my most beautiful ideas. The year was 1905. Einstein was 26 years old. In a single year, he published 4 papers that shook the foundations of physics. He proved the existence of atoms, explained the particle nature of light, demonstrated that time is relative, and wrote the equation that revealed matter and energy are the same. This was one of the most powerful and dangerous ideas in human history. Yet at the time, almost no one noticed. In 1919, a solar eclipse occurred. British astronomer Arthur Eddington tested Einstein's theory of general relativity. Light bent as it passed near the sun, exactly as Einstein had predicted. The theory was correct. The next day, newspapers declared Newton was wrong. Einstein became famous overnight, but he felt something heavier than applause, responsibility. Einstein was not only a scientist, he opposed war, he opposed racism, he opposed authoritarianism. When the Nazis came to power, Einstein was already a target. Being Jewish was enough. His home was raided, his assets were seized. A bounty was placed on his life. Einstein fled Germany. He sought refuge in the United States, but peace never truly followed him. Einstein learned that Nazi scientists might be developing an atomic bomb. He was a pacifist, yet he could not remain silent. He signed a historic letter to U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt. That letter helped trigger the Manhattan Project, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. When Einstein saw the devastation, he said, "If I had known the Germans would fail, I would not have lifted a finger." For the rest of his life, he advocated nuclear disarmament. The FBI monitored Einstein for 22 years. His phone calls were tapped, his mail was opened, his trash was searched. When he died, there were 1,800 pages of surveillance files. No crime was ever found. But one truth remained. Einstein was dangerous to power. Because he thought, and he could not be silenced. Einstein died in 1955. He requested cremation. His ashes were scattered. But his brain was taken without permission by a pathologist. Cut into pieces, studied for decades. No center of genius was ever found. Because Einstein's difference was not in an organ, but in courage. Albert Einstein was not a myth. He was not a hero. He was a human being who never stopped asking questions, and he left us with this warning. A society that obeys without thinking loses both science and morality. And history reminds us, those who change the world are not the loudest voices, but the deepest thinkers. You don't need volume to bend time. You only need the courage to ask a question. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like the video, and support us with your comments.